Boom, you looking for this?
Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Cale, this is Colby,
Yes,
and we have just finished watching Thor Love and Thunder, and we thought it was a great time to update our tier list, our MCU movies tier list. So, let's waste no time. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. Okay. It's been a while. Okay?
Well,
if you haven't seen the first one, you can go skim through it at first. It's a long video, and our audio is terrible. So
and we update. Yeah, if you want to blast from the past.
Yeah,
and we made that after Black Widow, right?
Yeah, we made it after Black Widow. Anyway, so let's go ahead and jump right into this. So first up, we got the classic. We got the beginning, Iron Man 1. Where are we ranking Iron Man?
If I remember correctly, we put this B tier. But low key, I feel like it.
I'd put it higher.
I feel like it's an A.
I'd give it an A tier too. And this is just, when you look at this movie now, I think it's probably aged the best out of the beginning.
Yeah, I'd say that and
Cap,
the first Cap movie.
And maybe Thor too. I'll give Thor a break. But next up, we got the Incredible Hulk, and this movie, shameful. I mean, truly shameful for the MCU as of now. But where would you put it?
When I was a wee lad, I didn't even think this was in the MCU. I thought it was a different universe.
I still forget it's in the MCU. I don't count it most times. Where would you rank it?
Maybe C.
I think a C tier is fair.
I mean, like we've talked, that was our first ever tier list, right? That we did. When we do tier lists now, we realize that it's stacked up against everything else in the tier list.
Yeah.
So maybe against other movies it would be a B or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But against all the Marvel movies, it's tough competition.
Oh, it is definitely tough competition. Next up, we've got Iron Man 2. This movie just, it doesn't hit for me. I don't really like it all that much. This does have my favorite Iron Man suit of all time. Definitely Mark V. Mark V is the best, but I'd still rather watch it than over Incredible Hulk.
Over Hulk.
Next up, we've got Thor, the original. And actually, the original Thor gets a lot of hate, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I like it.
It's actually really good. I put it, it's definitely the third best solo film. Where would you rank it? I think it's a good B tier, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's a low B.
I put it low B. The next question is, where do you put Captain America, not the Winter Soldier, Captain America, the First Avenger?
I think the First Avenger is an A tier.
A tier?
Personally. This movie, to me, has some of the greatest longevity of any Marvel movie.
It's a classic movie. It's so good, dude. Next up, we've got Avengers, and this is it's a classic. It's instant classic.
Easily S tier.
Instant classic. This is the first movie of its kind, really, when you think about it. Combining heroes from multiple different movies into one single movie, incredible.
And it's the first Marvel movie I saw in theaters.
Yeah. That started a long trend for... I didn't see Avengers with you in theaters, but we started with the Winter Soldier.
I remember we were talking about the Avengers movie at our grandparents' house.
Yeah.
And it was like next to a little box TV in that back room. You remember that?
Dude,
and we were like, neither of us had seen it, and we were like, yo, this is sick.
I remember asking somebody in school... I was in second grade when this movie came out. I remember asking somebody, I was like, is it okay for me to see, like, when my parents let me? Now, of course they wouldn't, because it's a beautiful movie. Next up, we've got Iron Man 3. Where would you rank it? I actually like the story of this movie.
Yeah, I think maybe B.
I think B tier over Thor for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so B tier over Thor. Although Thor's got a good story though. I don't know, but I think Iron Man 3's got a better story. What it did for Tony's character was important.
Yeah, and it has pretty high rewatch appeal just because of all the suits and everything too, I think.
Yeah,
for
really sure. Cool. So many good suits. Mark 42 is probably like my third favorite suit. We'll go. You'll see my list of favorite suits. We should really make a tier list about that.
We should do that.
We should make a tier list about that. Comment if you want to see that for sure. Next up, we've got Thor: The Dark World. Thor: The Dark Thor, as some people call it.
Yeah, and it isn't even a question. I think it's the best MCU movie to ever come out.
Oh, easily. I mean, S tier, definitely. I mean, truly, the story... I feel like a lot of y'all get lost on this story, but it actually is transcendent. Malekith the Dark Elf is truly one of the greatest villains to ever exist in the MCU.
Or in just cinema history.
Yeah, that's really true. Honestly, he's up there with Darth Vader. Yeah, if Darth Vader actually existed, he'd be up there with him. It's actually a D tier. So, if you watched our old tier list, you know this is the only movie that we ranked on D tier. But we might be a little bit more generous to Thor: The Dark Thor here in a minute. Next up, we've got Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
This is probably the ranking we got the most flack for.
It really is, because a lot of people, in a lot of people's minds, this is the best Marvel movie to ever come out. Critically. I don't think it is. I think it's a really good movie. Don't get me wrong. And actually, we forgot to mention this, but after the Avengers, really starting at this movie, this hit a hot streak for Marvel. All of these were so good up until I'd say about... honestly, through Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, every one of those are just great movies.
Really just great movies, good stories and everything. But Captain America, the Winter Soldier, where do you rank it?
I think we gave... What did we give it? The highest? Did we give it the highest A last
It was
time?
on the brink of S, highest A. And I think that's a great place to put it for right now. It's truly a good movie. Love what they did with it. I swear, and every tier list. Every tier list.
Iron Man doesn't want to get knocked off.
I don't blame him. You know Tony Stark. He's a narcissist. So. Next up, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy.
Our friend Eric Voss's #1 Marvel movie.
And honestly,
last I checked,
might be my not #1, but it's definitely up there for me.
It's beautiful. It opened a whole new world. The soundtrack, dude. It's beautiful.
The way the movie goes with the soundtrack is it's truly like especially with Ragnarok and even Love and Thunder. Now they've gone along with the soundtrack kind of, and they definitely got that from James Gunn. And I kind of agree with you. We were talking about this off screen, but James Gunn, I think, is the best director in the MCU right now.
I was thinking about this earlier too. I don't think any trilogy will ever beat the Captain America trilogy for me within the MCU. But if anything does, I think it might be
Guardians. I think Guardians is I venture to put an S, but I honestly like Guardians 2 better than Guardians 1. I think I'll put this right below Winter Soldier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay. All right, next up we've got Avengers Age of Ultron. Fans of the channel will know that I have a love affair with Ultron. I really do. I love Ultron.
You heard it here first.
I actually hated this movie when it came out. I remember being so hyped for it, and I was like, dude, that movie was garbage. But then I went back and watched it. I was like, yeah, this movie's great. I memorized the entire script. Yeah. That's how much I liked it.
I've probably watched this more than any MCU movie, which is crazy.
Yeah, same. Either that or Infinity War for me. And honestly, I can put it A tier, but I can't justify. Where would you put it above Iron Man? The OG Iron Man? I want to. That's me. But I
probably would.
Okay, well, I was about to say we'll agree to disagree here. I don't think I could put it above Guardians of the Galaxy, though. Well, in my list, I could, but objectively, I don't think I can.
That is a tough one.
I think
Does it slide past Guardians?
I think it does. I'm sorry, but I do like.
I love it too.
Yeah,
it's just two really great movies there. When Cap splits the wood, that's one of my favorite gifts.
Every time you try to win a war before it starts, innocent people die. Every time.
It really is. I feel like underrated.
Next up, we've got Ant-Man. I like this movie. I think I like I was about to say I think I like Ant-Man and the Wasp better between the two, but where would you rank this one?
It's been a minute since I've seen this. I don't know. I really do like this movie.
I do too.
Do you think it sneaks into A?
I think I'd put it high B. Yeah. I think I put it above Iron Man 3. Well, I don't know.
I think it's right there with Iron Man 3. You go below, you think?
Yeah, I think below, because I really don't think I can put it on par with...
Yeah, I don't think it sneaks into A.
I don't think it sneaks into A.
It's a really high B.
But you know what sneaks into S? Captain America Civil War.
It doesn't even sneak, dude.
It doesn't sneak into S. It takes a resounding first place. Would you put it first place?
Oh, easily.
Captain America Civil War, I vividly remember the day we went to go see it. I broke it like a towel rack in my bathroom because I was so hyped for it. I don't know why. I was just like hanging out. I was like, dude, yes, we get to go see Captain America Civil War. And then fell. I remember that.
The press for this was phenomenal. Everything surrounding this movie was just great.
We were Team Cap. Even though I like Iron Man more, I was definitely Team Cap. I remember being in art class drawing like a Team Cap poster and art. It's whatever. I was in ninth grade.
It was just everywhere. Like I was watching like the Nick Choice Awards and they had RDJ and Chris Evans on there for their different teams.
And you know what's crazy, dude?
So hot.
You know what's crazy, dude? This movie Avengers Age of Ultron came out just a year before that. That's honestly crazy to me.
Yeah, that's nuts. That's what we're talking about, that stretch right there. That's the golden stretch.
It really was a golden stretch. Every time you went to go watch an MCU movie, you just walked out so thrilled.
I wish I could go back in time and watch Civil War in theaters for the first time.
Oh, either that or Infinity War for me.
Yeah, Infinity War. Those are the two.
Those are the two I'd go back and watch.
When Cap was sitting there...
hacking at Iron Man. Oh,
my heart's never beat so fast.
I thought he was about to kill him, dude.
I thought he was too, and y'all know Cap's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
And I was like, please don't do it. He was like,
it was so
good. And my heart was beating. Literally, it hasn't done that in any movie ever.
Dude,
that fast.
It was so good, dude. And next up, we've got Doctor Strange. The original, I like this one better than definitely better than the Multiverse of Madness. Where do you rank it?
I think it's a B movie.
I think it's a B tier too. You put it above Ant-Man or below Ant-Man?
I put it below Ant-Man.
I think I'd rather watch Ant-Man too. Next up, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Okay, I'm gonna say some controversial things here because I know Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is like people think it's better. Better soundtrack in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think a better story, honestly, and.
Yeah, the story's beautiful.
I don't know, dude. Like, great visuals. It's so good, dude.
Good. There's some hilarious... I remember when Mantis got hit by that... that meteor or whatever,
yes,
that
dude,
killed. I think I
dying.
jumped out of my seat.
No, I think my favorite part of the movie is either That's My Freaking Father, Mary Poppins, y'all, or when they're flying on that planet after escaping the Sovereign or whatever, and Drax is in the back of the ship, and he's shooting stuff, and Gamora's just slinging them into trees. Like, ow, ow, ow. Or
the tape thing.
Yeah. But that's the thing, dude. This movie was so good. Such a good story. This is the perfect blend.
Y'all know my phone case.
Yeah. He had to go
Awesome Mix Volume 2. I mean, that's just how it is.
It had the perfect blend of comedy and then a great story, too. It knew how to take itself seriously. And I think I give this S tier. Below or above, I think you got to put it below the first Avengers.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe place to put it, though. Next up, we've got Spider-Man Homecoming. Now, fans of the channel also know that me and Colby are high on this movie. Where do you rank it, though? I think it's an A tier.
I think it's the best movie for, like, middle and high school kids to watch. I mean, it's just one of those things. Just for the relatability factor. And Spider-Man in general.
Yeah.
The most relatable superhero, probably.
Easily.
So
I liked how down to earth it was too. Like it didn't try to be like him fighting the Sinister Six right off the bat. Like it's And we'll talk about this after we get to No Way Home. But just the way that his trilogy ended up being, it was great. So
and fans of the channel also know we love drama.
No, we do love drama.
I was Team Liz all the way at first. I ain't gonna lie.
I was Team Liz. I was Team Liz. I wasn't a big fan of MJ at first, but. Where do you rank this movie? I think I give it A tier.
Yeah, it's an A tier.
Above, or I don't know if I can put it above Guardians of the Galaxy. Do you think maybe?
Personally, I would have it bottom A.
Bottom A, okay.
Personally,
I feel that.
But I mean, I could understand if you wanted to put it above Iron Man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the poster just.
I don't know, dude. I forget how much I like this movie sometimes. I watched it recently, but
I think that's a good place to put it. We'll leave it there. We can always adjust. Next up, we've got Thor Ragnarok. Wow, just a fantastic movie. It's okay, so people, I loved Hela, I loved Thor, I love what they did with Thor's character. Loki in this movie was great, Valkyrie in this movie was great, Korg, Hulk.
It's hard for me to find a weak spot with this movie.
I really can't. It's got great comedy, it's got a great story, it's so good, and I put it on par with that. And I think for that reason, I have to give it S tier. You think S tier?
Yeah, it's definitely S tier, but where do you put it is the question. I don't think it tops Civil War for sure.
I would put it honestly above Avengers. I really do like this movie.
To me, it's neck and neck with Avengers. I think
we'll
Civil
put it
War is definitely
Civil War's a lock right now. Civil War's a lock for sure.
It's to me it's neck and neck with Avengers.
We'll call it. Okay, I think right there is safest. Next up, we've got Black Panther. This movie's good. Not one of my favorites personally, but it's objectively pretty good. Where would you rank it?
I think it's a B tier movie.
I think it is too.
The one of the great things with this is obviously the visuals.
Oh, obviously the culture too.
Yeah, the culture. I mean, that's unlike anything we've seen in the MCU ever.
So would you rank it?
Where would the story's pretty good. Killmonger's one of the greatest villains.
Yep.
And obviously, rest in peace, Chadwick, one of the greatest actors in the MCU.
Yeah.
Or in general, really. It's beautiful performance.
Mm-hmm. Well, will you put it above Ant-Man, maybe above Iron Man 3, high B tier, or maybe below Iron Man 3?
What do you think? It's tough for me.
I personally would rather watch these two movies above Black Panther. That's me.
Yeah, I think it's kind of neck and neck with Doctor Strange, personally.
Okay. All right. I think that's a good place for it. Next up, we've got Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, if you watched our last video, you know where we have this movie.
Avengers Infinity War is simply fantastic. It's with how many characters they had in this movie, it still was so good, dude. And I feel like every main character got enough screen time and enough character development. We saw the Avengers lose for once, which was nice to see. Thanos, this was really just a Thanos love story, really, at the same time, too. Like, you love your heroes, but also it gave Thanos a lot of good light, too. Thor in this movie, I mean, I could go over it. And it's also got my, second favorite Iron Man suit, Mark 50. So, definitely top S tier.
Yeah, it's definitely the best
MCU
movie. Up to our last year. Well, you'll have to see if we put something over it that we just added.
Yeah, so be on the lookout for that. We got a couple candidates. Next up, we've got Ant-Man and the Wasp. I like this movie. I think I'd give it a B tier, though.
Yeah, it's a solid B tier.
A solid B. I probably like it. Do you like it better than the first Ant-Man? Or?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
I don't know. I'd probably put them neck and neck right there. Next up, we've got Captain Marvel. The movie wasn't bad. She's just so one-dimensional. Like, the movie was kind of boring, but it wasn't, objectively bad. It was just kind of boring.
Yeah, I thought Nick Fury was great in this.
Yeah.
Clark Craig coming back as Coulson was really cool to see.
Yes.
I think it's a C or B.
Thinking C. I don't know. Would you put it low B maybe?
I think right there is a good spot.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it too. Next up, we've got Avengers Endgame. Wow. What a movie.
Yeah.
Truly a cinematic phenomenon.
The biggest movie of all time, I would say.
Easily. I mean, it should beat Avatar. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But I don't think, honestly, I don't think it's better than Infinity War. I've said that for a long time, and I'll stand by it now.
No, I think definitely, objectively, it's not. But to me, everything that went into it, including Infinity War, just setting it up, the expectations for it were basically impossible to reach, and I think it did as good as it pretty much possibly could have, minus Thor and Hulk. I
think, and that's very true. And part of what probably made me hate it so much, or not, I don't want to say hate. Sorry, probably what made me not like it so much was that I had a massive headache the day I was watching it, and it was bad. It was bad. And
there's a lot that goes on because y'all know we like watching for the experience as well as the movie. And I mean, we had people sitting on the steps.
It was ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous.
And to have the biggest movie of all time sidelined by a headache.
Yeah.
I can imagine that's tough, dude. I think it's definitely, I would put it number 2.
Number 2. I think in our last tier list, we left Infinity War number 1. And I think that's it. Just simply because of the phenomenon that these two movies are, they have to go above any of these. Even if these were, I guess, objectively better movies. Next up, we've got Spider-Man Far From Home. I'm not actually a hater of this movie, really. A lot of people are, but I thought it was really good. I thought Mysterio was really good. This is kind of a contrast from Homecoming, because in Homecoming, all he wanted to do was be Spider-Man. And in Far From Home, all he wanted to do was not be Spider-Man. And a lot of people didn't like that, but when you get to No Way Home, it actually all makes sense. So where do you rank this movie?
I think it's do you give it B or A? Or somewhere other? I like Homecoming better.
I like Homecoming more. So maybe you're like right here? Or do you like Iron Man 3 better? That's a tough one right there.
Yeah, I think maybe high B.
Yeah, I think high B right here. But above or below?
I don't know, dude.
I don't know.
That's a tough call.
That is a tough one right there. I like Spider-Man. Oh, dude, that is a tough call. We'll come back to it. Next up, we've got Black Widow. We ranked this one in our original tier list. So I think we had a B tier, and I think that's honestly a good place to put it.
Yeah.
And now, in terms of Phase 4 movies that come out, this is definitely one of the better ones, but we'll talk about that in a minute.
Which is probably unpopular opinion there, but I agree.
Where are we putting this? I think maybe below... Do you put it below Black Panther, maybe? Or above?
I'd have to rewatch Black Widow again to decipher. Maybe below Doctor Strange.
All right, yeah, I think that's a good place to put it, actually. I kind of agree with that. Next up, we've got... So these are movies we have not ranked yet, okay? So we're going to have to deliberate over this a little bit more. So bear with us. Next up, we've got Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Now, I've said this to him off screen. Ever since I'd probably say Infinity War, I haven't walked out of a movie, an MCU movie, and been like genuinely thrilled. And No Way Home is probably the one exception, and I would say probably this one too. I actually like Shang-Chi a lot.
Shang-Chi was really good.
I don't know if that I can justify putting it anything above B, but I don't know where you're on that. Because I think you like Black Widow better than Shang-Chi.
Yeah, to me they're very similar in how much I like them.
Yeah.
I need to rewatch both of them. I've only seen them the one time in theaters.
I really don't think I can get anything above a B.
Honestly. I think it's definitely a B.
I like it better than Black Widow, but we can put it right here. For now.
Yeah, we can go above.
Okay, above Black Widow. Next up, we've got Eternals. Gosh, this movie. We didn't even make to tell you how much we did not like this movie, we didn't even make a video about it.
we made a shorts.
When we were, we did. Go check that out. But when we were trying to figure out what movies to put back on this tier list to film it, I forgot this movie even existed. Both of us did. We were like, wait, I felt like there's something we're missing. And then I was like, Eternals, duh. I totally forgot about it.
Yeah, that's rough.
The best part about this movie had nothing to do with the Eternals. It was everything to do with the Celestials.
And the visuals.
And the visuals as well. So,
and it was cool. The historical aspect was really cool.
Like how they felt the Earth basically exists, so that way, they could birth a Celestial. I really don't like it, honestly. I really don't. I would watch it just for the visuals again, but whenever I was watching, I was like, dude, this is taking so long. It's kind of boring.
Has someone dethroned the Dark Thor?
This just did. This just did, in my opinion. Yeah. I'd rather watch Thor the Dark Thor over this.
I would too.
That genuinely tells you something. Next up, we've got,
Do Spider-Man. We have a new contender for number 1? We were foreshadowing, maybe.
Spider-Man No Way Home is a great movie. Like I said, this is the one exception for Phase 4 where I've walked out insanely thrilled. Like, this was a great movie.
And I watched this at Disney Springs in like a 3-story theater.
Yeah.
And it was just insane.
Oh, I'm sure it was nuts, dude. Like when Daredevil showed up, and then Andrew and Toby. Imagine that. I mean, truly.
By the way, if anyone's at this point in the video, comment #KaleWatch Daredevil.
Yeah, I really do need to watch Daredevil. I'm sorry, I just haven't yet. Where do you rank No Way Home? It's definitely an S tier. It's not even close. Yeah. I honestly,
for the longest time in my book, the top 3 have been untouched.
Which one gets the throne is the question. I'm
struggling. I haven't deliberated much over this until now.
Yeah, I really haven't thought about it much. I don't know. And when you look at this in the grand scheme of Spider-Man's story, like I said, Homecoming was all about him wanting to be Spider-Man and not being able to be like the big Spider-Man that he wanted to be. Far From Home was all about him wanting to have a normal life. And then No Way Home blended those two perfectly and helped him realize that he had to let go of some things in order to be the Spider-Man that he wanted to be. Because if he was able to let go of his friends, he could be the Spider-Man that he always wanted to be. I think that it was like a reverse origin story, the way that it happened, and I loved it.
I'm having a hard time between Civil War and this movie.
And I'm not gonna say, and the movie was all about Tom Holland. Doctor Strange didn't steal the show. Andrew and Toby didn't steal the show. My one critique of this movie is that it relies on shock factor, definitely. Yeah. Because that first time you watch it, there's nothing like it. I mean, truly, there's nothing like it. So whenever I went to go see it the second time, it was good, but it wasn't like the first time, you know?
Right. I don't know, dude. I'm having a hard time between this and Civil War. To me, they're very similar.
Yeah, they are.
In certain aspects, like just with a bunch of big actors and stuff coming back. But this was just insane.
It really was insane, and it's arguably a bigger team up than even Infinity War tried to do, because bringing back characters from 20 plus years ago, like, that's nuts.
Yeah, that is insane.
Yeah, it was so good. Like, it had emotion to it.
Tom Holland,
great acting,
beautiful performance.
Yeah, I'm really having trouble here because I love Civil War. Like Civil War is like beautiful to me, but I'm really having trouble here. I think. Do we just leave it on ranked? I think for right now, I don't know that I can justify putting it above Civil War, because Civil War is such an easy movie to watch, and it did not rely on shock factor whatsoever.
Right, because you knew who all was going to be in it.
Yeah, it was just a great movie, like, simply. And this movie does rely on shock factor. Not to say it's great, but it's slower than Civil War is for sure. I think I've got to put it below.
The ending is beautiful with No Way Home. I'll say that the ending is just beautiful.
So honestly, Civil War has a great ending too.
That's true. Yeah, they're both kind of heartbreaking. Yeah, I mean, I think really it's basically a tie.
Yeah, I think we'll call it a tie. Yeah, that's what we do when we don't know what to do. We just call it a tie. Next up, we've got Doctor Strange and the Mom. Never gets old, dude. So if you've been watching the channel for a while, we put out like 100 videos about Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. We were really excited for this movie, and I still stand that the Illuminati part in this movie will forever be the best part of this movie. Oh, yeah. Ain't no doubt about it.
It's one of the most shocking things in MCU history.
Truly.
And if we're going based on movie titles, it's number 1.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
I don't know if you can beat Doctor Strange and the Mom.
Oh, you really can't. I think we got to put it number 1 just for that reason. on the real, though, I was hyped for this movie, walked out disappointed compared to my hype level, and I think that's a lot to do with, I just wasn't a big fan of where they went with Wanda. I liked Wanda as a villain, but I don't know if I like the direction they went in that regard. In the movie kind of made Doctor Strange feel like an idiot. Like, I don't know, he kind of felt stupid to me.
Yeah.
And America Chavez, I like her character. She was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The best part. Oh wait, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
The best part was simply when the Illuminati showed up. I mean,
that really was just phenomenal.
Forget Captain Marvel. I'm talking about Mr. Fantastic, Professor X,
Black Bolt.
Oh, that was beautiful. It was truly...
The Black Bolt thing. I haven't.
Captain Carter.
Captain Carter. The Black Bolt death is one of the most shocking things I've ever felt. Like, dude, when that happened, I was like,
yeah, I know. I was like, is this an MCU movie? Like,
I was seriously, literally shocked that I just watched that.
And dude, Reed Richards or John Krasinski makes a perfect Reed Richards.
Yeah,
that might be a better casting than Robert Downey Jr. Like, truly, it's
Patrick Stewart's back as well from the other stuff.
We've been talking about this movie for a while. I think it's because of recency. Like, we just saw it.
I would put it maybe just below Black Widow.
Okay.
Because I don't think Thor has a scene as good as that one.
No, not even close.
And I think that propels it just above Thor. Maybe. What do you think? Do you put it below Thor? I don't know.
Yeah, I probably would. Honestly,
I think it sneaks into B because I would rather watch it than all.
Thor's a better movie to me, but this has it has cooler scenes for sure. But Thor is I think it's objectively
I think that's a
movie.
good spot for it because I think it is just a level above the C tiers.
Yeah, and then next up we've got Thor: Love and Thunder. This movie is far cry from Ragnarok. It just wasn't the story I was looking forward to. And
we were talking about before though with the experience thing.
Yeah,
we watched this twice now, and both times it was probably 80+ degrees.
Yeah, it was that definitely had a hamper on it, but. Gore was really good in this movie, one of the better MCU villains we've seen to date. Thor, kind of okay where they took his character, but still not kind of where I wanted him.
Yeah, we can make another video about how we would have done his character. We've talked about that extensively off camera.
This movie seared B to me too. I like it better than Captain Marvel for sure, but I think I like it better than Multiverse of Madness. But would you rank it any higher?
This is Thor 4 versus Thor 1. I don't know. I mean,
Thor 1's it's a better story for sure.
I think I'd put it below the first Thor, dude.
And I honestly think that's a safe place to put it.
We're giving it the third best Thor movie.
And I'm honestly okay with that. Ragnarok was such an outstanding movie for what we had seen in the Thor franchise. That's what I was expecting for Thor: Love and Thunder, and it just didn't meet the criteria. And I know that might be a little bit unfair, but if he can do something like Ragnarok, he can definitely do something like Ragnarok again. And I'm talking about Taika Waititi. So
yeah, I mean, I still love Taika Waititi.
Yeah, and
I'm excited for his Star Wars movie and everything that he does.
I think the problem is they saw what made Thor Ragnarok such a standout was the way they took Thor with his humor, and they leaned way too heavily into that in Thor: Love and Thunder.
The thing is, we know Thor has lost more than anybody in the MCU. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's lost everyone. Yep. And I feel like we just kind of skim over that part of his character. Exactly.
I mean, it references it in a montage how he's kind of been talking to Star-Lord about it, but that's something I would have loved to see on screen. I'd rather seen Thor wrestling more with losing everything that he's had and seeing Gore as a redemption shot, right? He's losing all of his fellow, I guess, gods. And Gore's a redemption shot at that.
Yeah, and I wish honestly he would have been able to save Jane, and that's the one person he can keep.
Exactly. Gore's a redemption shot, and him saving Jane is a part of that, right? Yeah. It could have been really. Literally could have been one of the best MCU.
We were talking. It might have to do with Natalie Portman. I'm not sure. Not wanting to come back.
I just read on Twitter that she's willing to come back for any project now.
Oh man, I feel like they should have kept her alive. Like, at some point, I want Thor to have somebody to love. I mean, I know he's got his daughter.
Who's actually his daughter in real life. Pretty cool.
Yeah, but, I mean, I just really feel like they could have done a lot of things with Jane and Thor's relationship.
Jane, Thor, and Gore's daughter. I think they all three of them. I think they could have done a lot with that. And it's sad that they didn't go that direction. And maybe we'll see in the future why. I guess we're getting a Thor 5. But
yeah, and I'm still hyped for a Thor 5.
As of right now, it didn't hit for me. And I'm going to be honest, it really didn't hit for me. I wanted it to, but it just wasn't what I expected. It really wasn't. And like I said, I haven't walked out of a Phase 4 movie other than No Way Home genuinely thrilled after watching it. But
yeah, Gore, Thor, the Guardians were good, and Korg was good.
It just, everything felt so rushed. That was definitely the worst part about it. And the comedic timing, not that the jokes didn't land, but the comedic timing, it was hard to take some stuff seriously whenever.
Especially when Thor, in reality, I mean, he shouldn't. I don't like the Dark World series Thor, but that was before he lost everybody. Yeah. And now he's lost everybody, and he's the most joking he's ever been.
Yeah, like they kind of make a joke out of Thor by making him joke all the time instead of actually confronting his emotions, which could be powerful for, I feel like, a lot of people.
It would be beautiful, and it would be more easy to relate to him. And especially instead, he just gets over everything so easily, seemingly.
Yeah, like especially in that first battle, like you can tell he has trouble with hardly anything he does, and which is fine because he's an Asgardian god, fine. Right. But especially with how long he's been alive and how many things he's seen happen. You know how many people he's lost, and he could have had a chance at love, a life of love with Jane, but now he doesn't get that.
I say they glossed over it completely, but Infinity War really does it best.
It really does.
When he's talking to Rocket.
Mm-hmm. And that short little snippet is...
Yeah, and that's all we get of him going through
that those few words he utters, about how he's 1,500 years old, he's killed twice as many enemies as that, and now he's watched all these people die in his life. And what more could I lose? This movie could have been a shot for him to get over that, break through it, save Jane, get a life with her.
Happily ever after. I mean, that would have been sick.
It would have been great. But that's our tier list, and honestly, I'm liking it.
I'd like to see how comparable it is to our first tier list, like what we switched around, what we didn't.
Yeah, we'll have to go back and look, because honestly, we didn't use our old tier list as a reference point. I don't know. I might would put Thor the Dark Thor over Incredible Hulk. I mean, or we could just bump Hulk down.
I mean, yeah, we could bump Hulk down.
Is it really deserving of C tier? I mean, we can't even remember that movie half the like.
Yeah, maybe it is a D.
Honestly, might would put it D tier for me. My gosh. Okay, there we go.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't have much desire to rewatch those three movies
at all.
Especially compared to all the other ones I want to rewatch it this time.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to say what I'd put over another.
Yeah, they're just the deplorables. D stands for deplorables. Anyway, that's our tier list. Let us know what you guys think. You all might have some different opinions on Multiverse of Madness, and especially Multiverse of Madness and Thor: Love and Thunder. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.